spoke about the Jewish culture or people, because I think we're all tribal. How are the Jews different in their tribal?
Yeah.
More tribal.
Can we sum it up? Okay. Jews didn't invent tribalism, but they're very good in it. Why they're very good in it? Because they practice it much longer than anyone else. As I explained before, the culture is exilic. The Torah teaches us how to handle and manipulate the goyim. You are the goyim. We have the book of Esther that teaches us how to infiltrate into administration. There is a chapter in the book. And to make it work for us. There is a book and we have a celebration for the success of this lobby, and it's called Purim, which is the most joyous Jewish festival. So I guess that in 100 years or 200 years, we will have maybe a very strong Pakistani lobby in America. They will have to work it out and to find out what they want to achieve. But for the Jews, it is very clear. It is so clear that the Israelis are making a war, and the anti-Zionists make sure that nobody talks about the Jews, and all together, and it works. It is working. It is fucking amazing. You have to admit that when you look at the success of Zionism,
Are you saying they're in cahoots with each other? Are the anti-Zionists
absolutely,
and the Zionists are working
absolutely,
together?
and even I, Gilad Atzmon, who according to Alan Dershowitz is the number one enemy of the Jews. This is what he says about me.
That's a compliment from
That's a
Yes.
compliment.
No,
Yeah, that's what I see.
No, maybe. Even I work for the Jews. How? You tell them, look at you, bunch of racist, lunatic murderers, and look at Gilad Atzmon. One of the reasons that I decided to stop being a Jew, because I really want to oppose it, not from within. Interestingly enough, another strong voice who did the same thing is actually before me, is Israel Shamir, who was also denounced by Ali Abu Nima. Interestingly enough, Spinoza did it. And they kicked him out. Okay. Interestingly enough, Shlomo Zand announced 2 weeks ago that he is not a Jew anymore. So it is very interesting. And this addresses your question.
Oh, yeah?
Is that what it's going to take
I don't know.
for Jews not to be Jews anymore?
I don't know. I don't say for Jews, I don't tell people what to do. This was my way. Shlomo Zand did it as well now. Israel Shamir did it. Spinoza. I feel in a good company. But it is a personal choice. And when I talk to you about the First Amendment, this is the only thing that is important about your country. This is the only thing. I know that is not much is left. I know that not much is left with it. There is a serious attempt against your freedom. But this is the only thing that you can fight for, that was fighting for. Because I want to tell you something. What is this bullshit about Palestine? Why do you care about Palestine? Why anyone should care about Palestine. What is it, 12,000 miles from here? How many people around you have been pushed out of their houses? They're living in bridges. I'm walking in your streets and I see a class genocide. I see poverty in this country, more and more. Yes. So why do you care about Palestine? Why don't you care about your neighbor? Is it because it is easier to care, to have a Palestine as a solidarity pet? And this is something very painful what I'm telling you now. Let me tell you, last time when I was here last March, I learned that about 30,000 drones are about to fly above your head. So let me tell you, you have segregation in this society, like in Gaza. You have 30,000 drones flying above your head, which is much more than what we have in Gaza. Not yet. Not yet. So Palestine is here. Once you realize that you are Palestinians, you can understand, you allow yourself. What is the whole idea of political correctness? Political correctness, and you mentioned it, you asked me to define it, so I'll define it. Political correctness is a political stand that doesn't allow political opposition. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the definition of tyranny. That's true. And this is imposed on us by the progressive and the left. They took this beautiful country and they made it into a tyranny. But it's even worse than a tyranny. Because in a tyranny, you know that you have a character whom you don't like. But in political correctness, it's self-imposed.
But there's different definitions.
Okay, I didn't finish yet. And what is political correctness? Is an attempt to divert you from facing the truth. Now, the reason for political correctness, it was established for noble reasons. Against racism, for tolerance and so on, stereotyping and so on and so on. But if I tell you this and this is politically incorrect, usually what I'll tell you, listen, you are telling the truth, but you cannot say it anymore. So basically it's there to stop you from telling the truth. And the truth is that you are spiraling down. And you cannot even talk about it. And talking about Palestine is a diversion of the tragedy that is inflicted upon you. And once we start to understand that Palestine is here, we can really start to empathize with the cause and to identify who is the enemy. And the enemy is within. I try to... So, how do we get out of this story? If you don't want to be a Jew, it's your business.
Yeah, but Jewish blood, what is...
Forget about Jewish blood. There is no such a thing as Jewish blood. It's an invention. There is no racial continuum between you and a Yemenite Jew. You may want to have, but you don't. So it's over. It's an invention. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to be a Jew, you stop being a Jew. And if it doesn't want to be a German, it's a choice. And if the Jews are annoyed by your choice, celebrate it. This is the biggest fun. Because when they're annoyed, the tantrum, oh, this is beautiful.
Hitler said there was Jewish blood.
Definitely. And by the way, politics. The problem with Nazism, if it didn't get into enough trouble until now, here it comes. The problem with Nazism, for me, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let me just put something there. The problem with Nazism, started when it became Jewish-like.
What do you mean?
Nazism,
What do you mean?
I'll tell you. Nazism at the very early stage was basically fascism. What is fascism? Fascism is caring about social justice. Sorry, I'm an expert on it, and if you, yeah, okay, so let me say it. Fascism is putting together social justice with entrepreneurialism. This is what fascism is.
No, we are fascists.
This is what fascism is. Fascism integrated, the Nazis were a National Socialist Party. But the Nazis even improved the fascist model because they say, we are orthodox ecologists. And this is why Nazis were so devoted to Leben philosophy, to the philosophy of life. They were the first Green Party, and they were the first Green Party who ever took over. But then, they brought in this ludicrous idea of racism, which has nothing to do with socialism, entrepreneurialism, or ecologicism.